So now I'm going to be coming off on the bus. So all I have to do, I have to press that just to indicate to the driver that I'm coming off on the bus. Like I said earlier, it is important that you indicate you're coming off on the bus. If you do not do so, the weather in UK varies. Sometimes you leave your house and it seems we're just coming up to spring, but in the morning it's still always a very cold one. As you can see, I'm not the only one coming off on the bus. We have other people that are coming off as well. So like I always say, everybody's going different locations, different places. But one thing is you need to know the name of the bus stop you're coming off. If you do not indicate that, then the driver might end up taking you all the way to the final stop. Like I said, traveling on the public transport. Thank you, driver. Which again is, so this is the bus stop. This has been the bus I've traveled on. As you can see, that's the bus there. Every bus has its own code, and every bus stop also have its own name. So this is called Jeffrey Road. I've just come out on the 491. I was actually explaining to you earlier on. You can see that these buses runs up to a particular timing. So the last one on a Saturday will be 20 minutes past 12 midnight. When the bus finish, trust me, you have to walk all the way, or you get an Uber, or you find somebody to pick you up. But because the reason why is this area doesn't have night bus, so this 491 ends on a Saturday at exactly 20 minutes past midnight. The same thing runs on a weekday, Monday to Friday. The last bus runs at 20 minutes, almost 20 past midnight as well. Again, on Sunday is the same thing. And this is why it is important that if you're traveling in the UK, you're moving from one side to the other, it is very, very important that you find exactly how you're going to get back home. If you're doing a night job and the bus ends at exactly almost after you have completed your shift, you would have to find out how you're going to get home. Because if you do not, I'm crossing the road now, then you will be walking a long distance. I mean, it is safe, because security here is not very bad. But one thing is, this is a very industrial area, so there's a lot of workers that walk around there. You must have a bicycle if you're doing a late shift, and if you're not doing a late shift, then you're lucky to get the bus back as well. You can tell that this is the bus stop, and there's another one there taking you back. Very, very important that you plan your journey. Planning your journny is one of the key living in UK. For 24 years since I arrived in 1998, I've now understand that it is important that I know that if I'm going out at a particular time, what time am I likely to get back home? That then indicates when I have to decide if I will be getting the last bus, or I will be getting the train, or if otherwise, arrangement will be made if you're walking. But one thing that I always say to people that have just arrived is, take your time. If you're going to a new area, which I do all the time, I move to different areas, find out about the area in advance so that you will not get lost. Because as you can tell now, there's hardly anybody here to speak to. And that is one thing about UK. Most people that are driving, you can't stop them and ask questions. So that is why you must find out ahead of time, if you're going somewhere, so that you can plan the journey very well. Like I said, I will be doing a lot of the series traveling on the public transport. Yeah, it is a little bit freezing. It is still early in the morning. As you can tell, the time is just coming up to almost 10 minutes to 8 a.m. It is a Saturday morning, and like I said, looking behind me, you could tell that there's a lot of movement. Like I said, this is a very, very busy industrial area, where people do shopping, offices, factories, and all sorts are all happening around there as well. But one thing is, the longer you stay in UK, the longer you understand the area and the environment as well. Every environment, every area is different. But one thing is, they all operate almost on the same level. Once again, this is my 24 years in UK. Leave your comment below. I will be answering some of your questions. If you're coming to the UK for the first time, maybe you're traveling to Birmingham, you're going to Hull. Like I said, the transport system might be different, but it still operates under the same kind of environment. We do our best to make sure that we carry along. But I have lived in London for 24 years, 7 months. But I've traveled to Hull, I've traveled to Birmingham, to Wales, I've been to Scotland, I've been to Manchester, I've been to Coventry. But one thing is, it is not as a little bit different, but it's just that the public transport in London is still the top notch. From point A to point B, you are guaranteed to get to your location as quickly as possible. Once again, my name is Olami Koiki, my 24 years in UK.